Hi everyone, I am meal prepping today and I thought I would show you guys what I am making. I am going to make a pub style vegetarian chili. I found this recipe on All Recipes website. I will have it linked down below if you guys are interested in checking it out, but let me go ahead and show you what I have for ingredients. I have a 16-ounce package of Baby Bella mushrooms. These are sliced. I have about a cup of carrots, about 3/4 of a cup of green peppers, a cup of, this is a yellow onion, and about a half a cup of celery. 1 can of tomato paste. The recipe calls for a half a can. 2 cans of sliced stewed tomatoes, and this is in lieu of the whole peeled tomatoes that it calls for. Sliced just sounds a whole lot better to me. 2 cans of no salt added black beans. It calls for 3 cups. 2 cups of water. About 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. I don't have olive oil, so that will do. And then I have 1 tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of basil, about a tablespoon of garlic, and this is minced, and 3/4 of a tablespoon of black pepper. It also calls for salt, but I'm going to wait to add that at the end. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Instant Pot and then we can get started. I have my Instant Pot heating up. I've got this on saute mode. We're going to add our oil, and again I'm using vegetable oil because that's all I had on hand, and I've let this heat up just for a couple minutes, not long at all. So the directions say to heat your olive oil over medium heat and stir in your mushrooms, onion, carrot, bell pepper, celery, garlic, and all of the seasoning. So oil is heating up. Let's go ahead and add all of our veggies. So I'm going to add onion, celery, carrot, and bell peppers. And this has been heating up for just a few minutes, not too terribly long. So those are the veggies. Let's add our mushrooms. And we're going to add all of our seasonings. Let me grab a scraper here, 1 minute. Okay, so we're just going to let this saute until everything is softened, especially the onions. Get that good and mixed up so the seasonings aren't stuck to any one veggie. Only had about maybe less than a 1/4 cup of oil. It calls for about 1/3 of a cup, and depending on how this cooks down, I may end up adding just a splash of water. I try to not cook much with oil, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to go ahead and let this cook down. I will be back in just a minute. Okay, so our veggies have been cooking about 3 minutes now. The onions are still, they're not translucent, but like I said, I'm going to cook this in my Instant Pot and not on the stove, so I think that'll be okay. Let's go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. The first ingredient is a half a can of the tomato paste, and this is just a huge tablespoon, so we'll go ahead and add that. Next, we're going to add 2 cans of the sliced stewed tomatoes. Here's our second can with the juice. And then we're going to add in our 2 cans of black beans. I chose to do the beans without the salt because I can always add salt later. So there's 1 can, And our second can. And then last is 2 cups of water. Let's just give this a quick stir. Now the recipe says to, simmer or cook this down for about 20 minutes on a stove. I think I'm probably going to do, we'll do 10 minutes on high pressure and then let it naturally release for a little bit and see how that goes. But this it smells really good. I think, yeah, let's do 10 minutes and see how that goes. I can always cook it a little bit longer if I need to. So let me grab the top to my Instant Pot here. All right, so we've got it locked in place. I want to make sure that this is on sealing and not venting. So that way it'll come up to pressure. And then we're going to turn off saute mode. Now I'm going to hit manual, and you probably can't see the numbers here, but let's do 12 minutes on high pressure and see how that goes. So I'm going to let this come up to pressure. I'm going to let it cook, and as soon as it's done, I will be back. Okay, so my Instant Pot just went off a minute ago. Let's go ahead and release the pressure. I have put a towel over top, and I'm just going to use a knife to twist the little valve, and we'll let that steam and that pressure release, and I'll be back as soon as that's been done. All right, so this is our completed chili. It is pretty liquidy. So we'll let this thicken up as it stands, and I'll be back here in just a little bit once that's done. All right, so I ended up adding about 6 tablespoons of cornstarch into a little bit of cold water and whisk that up and put that in here, and I put this on the saute mode for just a few minutes just to give it a little bit of time to thicken up, and it will thicken more as it stands, but definitely cooking it in the Instant Pot caused it to be a little bit more liquidy than I would have liked. So let's go ahead and dish some of this out. Let me taste it, because that really ultimately is what matters, is if it tastes good. I have my little bowl here, and I just used Great Value brand cornstarch, nothing fancy. All right, let's turn, okay, that is off. This is going to be really hot, but it's cooked really well. And it's not, the cornstarch really did help thicken it up quite a bit. So let me taste this, and I'll let you guys know if it's any good. All right, since I'm doing this one-handed, I just added a bit of pink Himalayan salt. So let me try this and let you know if it's any good. That is really good, and that'll thicken up as it sits as well. So I would say this is definitely a keeper. I will probably make this recipe again. So I'm going to eat this for my lunch, and again, this is pub style vegetarian chili, and again, I'll leave the link down below if you guys care to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you're at. Bye.